Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. And I tell you, St. Greg's, we used to know St. Greg's in those days because of football. In Lagos, St. Greg's, St. Fiva Baptist Academy, Trinity Secondary Technical School. There was even, United Christian with Tarala Koromata and co. So that were those days. But then St. Greg's, the Omwera era, because of, CMS and Greg's, because of their... Standard 6 then, HSC, I mean, the more pop other, kids as we are finishing from Gaskia College, the deep ways of this world, they go straight into St. Greg's. And that was Lagos. That was Lagos, and it was fun. Principal's Cup then was something. And then athletics is what we are talking about now, because you saw that kid from St. Gregory knocking everybody off in the 100 meters, and that is what is going to happen here. It is coming soon. It is a teaser. I won't tell you the month. We just start counting weeks. You get me? I won't count I won't tell you the months, but start counting weeks because we are almost there. The schools are getting ready. They've been informed. They've been invited. They have said yes. Those who excelled in 2018, the inaugural edition, said we are going to get it better in 2019. We are going to rank the schools. We are going to get the best athletic schools in Lagos. I tell you this because we start in Lagos and soon it will be Nigeria. And that is how the kids come. And then before we venture into West Africa. So that's the sprint 100 meter. I tell you this because the kids came out there. And they ran, the braces. Look, I want to be the next Usain Bolt. I want to take off like Ben Johnson, but not with the needle. I want to do it naturally. I want to jump. I want to run. I tell you, Lagos is ready. Lagos is getting ready. And those of you outside Lagos, get ready because we get at you soon. It is Channel Sport on Sunday. And like we always do, we bring you the very best of sporting events all over the world. Yes, we bring them here for you every Sunday, every morning, and we bring it right to your living room. Somebody said that time I talked about the other room. For goodness sake, yeah, you can, wherever your telly is where you watch the show. So who am I to dictate from where you join us? So that is the track and field. We're going to look at, at some celebrations that are, that have been happening because they say victory has fathers, mothers, uncles, and nations supporting. But then when you lose, you are an orphan. You go home alone. You sulk. Only a few guys will come and tell you, sorry, my dear, I just take it easy. There is still a better time. So we'll look at what has happened in the past few weeks, bringing them, right down to what is happening right now. Because as we speak, the Rugby World Cup is taking place in Japan. And I tell you, New Zealand, South Africa, people looked up to that. The New Zealanders, back-to-back champions, said, we want to, you are our threat, but let us subdue you from the group stage first. Even when we meet in the final, psychologically, we shall be up there. So somebody will be joining us later. Of course, forget traffic is somewhere. He says he's on his way. We hope he will get here. We shall talk rugby and look at why women, I tell you this, more women watch rugby than football. I mean, I don't know why. Is it because they are knocking themselves up? I'm going to put on some weight. Probably this will be watching us and doing that. Also, the sport minister has been talking. He met with the FA, he dabbled into the issue of Denabil, the coach, and then we are saying this minister is biting too much. Are they leading him through the drug alley? Should he concentrate much on policy and other issues and leave them with their, things that they want to do within the federation? These are NGOs, supervise, bring the sport and see how we can develop. But then when the minister starts talking to NFF and start talking to when the coach has spoken about the coach has to stay, probably somebody is telling you, look, these are not the area, and releasing communique, co-signing communique with the NFF is like I don't know. We shall look at some of these issues. The minister, we said he started well, he's going around well, but please don't turn yourself into a football minister because that is where the murky waters start. They'll push you there and they will leave you. Ask the former ministers and tell you that what it is. Football is just one sport. Kenu gave us 4 gold medals at the last All-Africa Games. Football brought just 1. So let's just look at that and see how it is going to be. We shall look at also the Tigers after the World Cup in China. The rules 10 places, but then our football came down 1. So the rankings are out. FIBA came out, FIFA came out, and we are all doing all that. And in Europe, yes, Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is, a common denominator when you talk about Barcelona and Man City. One is going this way, the other one is coming. It's inversely proportional. It is Channel Sport on Sunday. My guys are in the house. And Theo is looking above the camera. But don't worry, you will talk when the time right.
You hear me?
How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, Ken. It's good to be here. It's another beautiful Sunday to discuss sport. A lot is happening in the world of sport. I know.
Then I wanted to start somewhere. Don't leave you alone. I wanted to start somewhere. Leclerc, we said it here that this boy is more than a kid. Back to back polls, back to back wins, and he is on there now. We don't know what is going to happen.
Absolutely. We mentioned it here last week.
Yes.
I wish Jimmy was on set. He's not here now. Leclerc back-to-back pole as a last week, but now
back to back. Yes.
It shows that this is no fluke. If something happens once, you say, oh, it's a flash in the pan. It happened for the second time, you say it's a fluke, but this is the third time. And the way the guy does it, and when you compare the fact that even the senior Ferrari driver is not able exactly the last time he got on the podium was in Canada. That was probably in June. So really, Leclerc is not just the new kid on the block. He's the newest sensation. He's the in thing when it comes to Formula One. Even the Hamilton knows that something is here. He will run for his body. There is a real threat. And now he seems to be getting hold of the Ferrari car back. You know, Ferrari, with all the noise about the quality of the car, they've not been able to do much. Yeah. But now with Leclerc, they seems to be getting the combination right, the combination of man and machine, and doing it so well.
So they took a chance, and the chance is paying off.
And it's paying off.
The chance is paying off. Yemi, welcome back to the show, and then let's look at what is going on our new Minister of Sports.
Okay, I think before then, I want to pick something from your intro when talking about the glorious days of St. Gregory. It was not only about football, but also cricket. You know,
exactly.
Then, cricket, one of the colonial legacies bequeathed to the old British Empire.
Yeah.
But unfortunately now, Nigeria appears to be one of the few countries in the old British Empire that have not taken that game seriously. And talking about how people were migrating to Ivy sporting schools renowned for sporting excellence, that takes us back to the admission scandal in the US, where parents were paying, camouflaging their kids as sport, using that sports slot to get their kids into good schools. And that tells you the premium schools plays on sportsmen, and I think that is something we have lost.
And that is what we are not
doing.
That
is something, one of the policies the minister should be. He has talked so much about youth development, and I think we can't get it wrong with youth development. Now, taking us back to the minister and the NFF, we should not. I don't think we should deceive ourselves. As a nation, 1996, Lieutenant General Ladipo Dia said we've won the great grandmother of all gold medals. So that tells you if the number 2 man in the country is saying that is where our priority lies. And I think 23 years after, nothing much has changed. Now, we said it and over-said it. Look at the appropriation bill, the national budget. Yes. You have 3S, you have NIS, you have NFA or NFF, then you have the National Sport Commission or other sports. So football is recognized statutorily outside other sports. So the minister can come on board and a sport that has its own heading, because it has the way they do appropriation bill, you have headings and things like that. So football is distinct from other sports. Even that is what we recognize as the nation, and that is what our National Assembly passes into as appropriation act.
In fact, okay, we'll look at that someday, because there are some of us that are even begging the president not to sign that bill. I mean, if you sign that NFA or NFF bill, you are killing other sports. I mean, there is no way you prioritize a sport over other one. There is no way you can, talent is God-given. The man who canoes, the man who boxes, the man whatever. There is no way. If now you see, we just come back from all Africa. We looked at our forests in the Olympics and watch where we are getting it from. Football is just one sport. It cannot be a national sport. Yeah.
What about the strategy of a comparative advantage? So if we feel that is where we have comparative, I'm not playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
So if we feel that is where we have comparative advantage, why don't we focus on
which is where we don't have? We don't have.
Why would you say we don't have comparative advantage?
I have just shown you.
You really don't need a proper pitch to even learn how to play the ball. A lot of ex-international started playing ball on the streets.
One of those who run, were they running on air? It's not, you know what I mean? Yeah, your first gold medal came from Choma Jonwa. Your first ever medal, the first ever medal at the Olympics came from Noji Meyegu, a boxer. So, you understand? The next one came from Isaac Korea.
And that's why some sports will always be rated above each other. And if you look at it,
yes,
India is not noted for football. They know them more for cricket and some other sports. So it goes like that for every country. Where I will puncture this argument is if even the sport where we say we have comparative advantage, are we doing the right things? Are we focusing on the basics? Yes, if we're doing that, but for the fact that when we even say we're devoting a lot of money, we're not even getting value for the money we're spending on those sports.
You use the exact word, the exact phrase I should understand, comparative advantage. And like I've just said, until 1996, we got no medal from football. Our very first medal, even our first medal in international event, came from Ifejuna. And that was at the Commonwealth Games in Edmonton, in Canada. You understand? So the first medal we ever had at the Olympics from Noji Meyegu, the old man is blind, 75-year-old now, he's blind. Nobody's talking about that. Followed by Aziki Korea in 1972 in Munich. Aziki Korea also got the bronze in boxing. We went to, before they went to Atlanta, before the Los Angeles Olympics, where the young Tigers and all of them all went on to get us medals. So it is not comparatively in the world. Football is far below boxing. We're not talking about the gold medal that came from athletics, that came from Choma Jonwa, one person against a race. So we always say, so would you love football? But football, to me, it might be to other persons. We shall look at it comparatively, and we shall find out that, yes, you are the minister of sport, not the minister. They don't let them lure you into being the minister of football. We've been saying this is advisory. What happened yesterday? We're saying 5 matches on trot, yet to pick a win outside. What is happening to Barcelona? Is it, even with severe factor coming back?
No, it doesn't really matter. Good afternoon. Back to the program again. Well, Barcelona losing yesterday against Granada, a team newly promoted from the second division in La Liga. Surprisingly, I call it topping the La Liga at the moment. I think the really high point for me yesterday was the fact that Ramon Aziz got the first goal in that game. But Barcelona not being able to pick a win away from home in the last 7 games, that's coming from last season, even up until now, shows that fear factor really is gone. And then yesterday was a campaign that actually started on Twitter. It's been on for a while now. Valverde out as the coach of Barcelona. I told you something before we came on air that you can't have a Griezmann who just won the World Cup. Easily top 5 players in the La Liga. De Jong signed from Ajax, who is UEFA's best midfielder currently at the moment, having Lionel Messi and a couple of other players in the team, and having them playing like a clueless bunch, basically. And that's what has happened to Barca over the past couple of seasons. Choking in the Champions League semi-finals and the quarterfinals when it matters most against AS Roma, and of course last season against Liverpool.
This is his third season.
Yes, his third season.
But before now, he has only lost 5 matches in La Liga in 2 seasons.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah, the season almost went on beating.
Almost went on beating.
Yeah. Almost
but now, if you have watched Barca play over the past couple of seasons, you discover that, especially under Valverde, it's not necessarily their playing. They don't stand out for their playing style. There's always an individual player who steps up and then changes the game most of the time. Like against Liverpool.
For them to go
you don't go a season almost. You know, that was the same mistake we were making about Barca.
Yeah.
Martino came on board, and Martino went a whole season clueless.
Yeah.
And Martino is one of the most respected Argentine coaches.
Yes, he was trophyless.
But he was there, trophyless, clueless. So, of course, he had to leave after 1 season. So, don't just say anybody comes and handles Barcelona and you achieve results. No. For the man to go a season almost unbeaten up till like 37
I said for 2 seasons he has lost only 5 matches.
So it's not by luck.
No, we're not saying it's by luck. That's what I'm saying. Players always stepped up when it mattered most. You watched Barca play against Liverpool last season, telling the return leg. They really a sharp contrast from the team that played in the first.
When you say it's a sharp contrast,
yes.
Why don't you give the credit to Liverpool that they stepped up? Barca, the first leg wasn't even
2 seasons in a row.
Yes.
First time against AS Roma. Again, now you relatively win. You give it. You mean Barca doing something wrong?
When you say you relatively win, the game, the first leg at Nou Camp wasn't. The difference was just the fact that Barca were taking their chances.
And who took the chances?
And that was the difference.
Who took the chances? Somebody stepped up.
Look at what is happening to
Look
at what is happening to Real.
Okay.
For the first time in like 16 years, in a Champions League game, they had no shot on target.
All right, we'll come back to football. I mean, every guys have their intro, and then this is what we have. But then let us just go around and see. We talked about Andrescu. We talked about a young girl, a teenager that carried just like we talked about football in Nigeria, and this is the first time a Canadian, an individual, came to win a Grand Slam. So we'll move on and see what is going to let us move into football now and start with during the week there were stories of the coach of the Super Falcons saying, he wants to do no mass, I'm dropping the towel, I'm not doing anymore. The minister also waded into this. If it is ready, we want to see. Let us look at what he tweeted. He said,
I have personally stepped into the matter of Thomas Deneby, the coach of the Super Falcons. I received a brief this morning and will proceed to seek a quick solution to ensure he continues to coach Nigeria's female team.
Right, that is the next. Okay, let's take the other one again. The other tweet from him. So
An hour ago, I had a constructive conversation on the telephone with Super Eagles coach Deneby in Sweden. I've also spoken with the NFF leadership. We are working to resolve the issues in the interest of football development. 501 likes.
Oh, good. I don't know anything about that. Let me come to you, Yemi. Should the minister be dabbling into the coaching contract of our national teams?
I for one, personally, does not see anything wrong in him doing his job. Or the federation, yes, they are like a pastor under the Ministry of Sport. The issue I have with him is the fact that you are coming out to tweet about this. I see this as operational, really. You could intervene behind the scene to make sure everything goes well. You don't necessarily have to tweet about this, come on social media to announce. Let's see the result, for God's sake. You don't have to announce operational thing like this. So for me, I think the handlers of the ministers, when it comes to PR, media management, and even social media management, can do better. A lot of people will advise him, you have to be visible, you have to do this, you have to do that. But again, there's a thin line. If you're not careful, and like you said, people have said it over and over, a lot of our ministers, that they focus more on football. If the Handball Federation, if they're having issues with the coaches, are you doing the same thing?
Yes.
Like last week they said, he met with Tammy Abraham's father. Are you meeting the parents of the basketballers the same way? So those are operational things, and I feel let's see results. You can intervene when it's necessary, yes, beneath the scene, but really, I don't think this should be a discussion for the public space, really.
Okay. Okay. Also, the minister also met with the Nigerian Football Association. Don't be surprised, because the president has to sign that bill. They are not NFF yet. When the president signed the bill, we shall recognize them as Nigerian Football Federation. For now, they are still Nigerian Football Association. The president met with the minister met with them, and he also told us what transpired. Let's look at that tweet. When the tweet is ready, we shall come over there. The minister met with them and said they want to rejig their image and stuff like that. I mean, these guys have issues. Some of them have, not all of them, have issues with the laws of the land. And the laws of, I mean, that is a personal thing. I will expect, to me, if, this is my personal opinion anyway, I should expect that, look, if I'm accused of anything, I won't run to the minister or anybody. I want to clear my name. And the best way to clear your name is to go through the process and get your name, which is more important than the position you are holding. You understand? Because, a lot of us say, look at these things and we ask ourselves, from what has been happening. When we talk about the letter writers, at times they will tell you government is interfering when it comes to election, government should interfere. Don't look at what we are doing, even it's legal. Even this same FA did come out with a communique once and said, if a member of the FA did not nominate you, you cannot contest an election. I mean, you can imagine that breaking a close up unless an elected member nominates you, you cannot. So any outside member, it becomes a cultish thing. Now, should the minister be? I mean, like I said, I'm sorry, but we want to set a platform on a bigger sport. The man has 4 years and he's enthusiastic, he's young and whatever it is on how to go about it. Should he be meeting with them and thinking about and stuff like this?
The minister has less than 4 years. 5 months is out, and we don't know whether there will be cabinet reshuffle. Yeah. But if going by what we had the last time and what the president has been saying, that he wants to work with the people he knows, so it's most likely the minister will still, because since 1999, that was the first time we have a minister that lasted the dispensation. Yes. So I think let's give to the president that the same thing will occur this time. Now, the minister meeting with the principal officers of the association, I don't see anything wrong with that. They never discussed their travails or their trials or persecution, the way they put it, with the disbanded Obonobla panel, because they had their issues, and I think the president has said the attorney general should take up all outstanding cases. The panel
the issue that with ICPC that are almost, yes.
Yeah, but the major issue was with the Obonobla panel. So now they have to have their day with the Federal Ministry of Justice. But what the minister did was, we talked about sport policy, and he also said we'll pay more attention to youth development, and you can't do that without the appropriate policy, so that it won't be, things will not be run at your own whims and caprice. So now, meeting with them and saying, look, Yemi said something, that if you say this is where we have comparative advantage, are we getting the value based on what we are putting?
Exactly.
Return on investment, is it what we expect? So if you expect a return on investment, it's not what the anticipated, is not what you are getting, then we need to going back to that drawing board. Maybe we still have to use that phrase. So that is proverbial. Yes, that is just in one sentence what the minister is saying. Yes. How can we just get it right? Enough of all these the under 21 goes for competition bonuses issues, so Falcons. Though we are getting past most of that stage now, but how do we ensure that we don't have a repeat of that kind of scenario? Those are the kind of things we're discussing.
Ken, just a quick one. And you see, when people just focus on return on investment, especially when it comes to football, that's where we focus on, we want to see, we have invested this in this team. They are going for this tournament. We want to see the result. No, I also want them to focus on return on objective.
Exactly.
So what's the objective of great football? What's the objective of sport development? Yes. It is that you can have how do I put it, a constant carousel that gives you the athlete that will represent you over time. It's not a quick win. It's not a quick fix. We understand that, yes, the Olympics is in how many years now? Starting to prepare for
2020.
2020 is already late.
Yes, now, and then the money will come a week before.
A week before, or after the Olympics. Which is you saw the clips that was showed now about Andrea Bianco at 19. Yes, winning a Grand Slam, the first Canadian
and the Prime Minister.
And the Prime Minister came to welcome her. A lot of work has gone into that.
She actually said it.
A lot of work has gone into that. Right from the parents, the government. I questioned something here some weeks back. During rainy season, is there anywhere we can play lawn tennis in Nigeria? No, because we don't have a single indoor court. So those are the kind of investment we have to put in place. Then the parents who needs to sacrifice. Everybody, we must be on the same page if we're going to achieve those kind of successes.
Yeah. Before I just let me just say this also on the minister, because I also saw that the minister also met with some captains of industry during
I saw the tweets
during the week. I mean, kudos. Those are the areas that we need. Let me say about 50% just because of the problems we have has to do with funding. So if those that have the capacity, to fund sports, are you able to bring them into, like what Yemi just said, to put in facilities in in the not the counties now, local government, right? Yeah. In local governments, in the local governments and other areas, and then probably that is where we should be going to. A release of funds. each of the federations have their budget because they have activities. They have wrestling federation, they have qualifiers, canoeing, the para athletes, they were coming and the para footballers and stuff like that, the special athletes. So those are the areas that, they can be funded. And then there is the sports lottery. We don't know, Mr. Minister, sir, probably should also look into that. I mean, there is so much money lying down somewhere and not being tapped. So basically, the sports lottery fund has to be looked into. Get a team, don't give us the tweet. Just go get that thing done and let us, get the money out so that the various the athletes will get the money at when they need it. What I say, we're going to open the lines now. You join, you join the discussion and let us the way forward for Nigerian sports. The activities of what we are seeing of a new enthusiastic, passionate sport minister in the areas you think you should advise him positively so that we can. But then let's talk about this 8-0 in 18 minutes. I mean, a team that was just masculated by a promoted Norwich. I mean, what kind of response? Let us see those results too. Okay.
You actually said it. Watford were putting on the yellow jersey. They probably thought maybe But coming into that game, Rodri, as I said, the defensive midfielder said something. He said Pep after the game against Norwich, he told them, said this team does not lose. And it was an embarrassing result, but they want to put it behind them. And moving forward, we knew that we were going to get expected response from Manchester City. We saw it midweek in the Champions League against Shakhtar. The result there on your screen.
What's happening in Tottenham?
VAR has not been fair.
But they've been on the right side.
Yes. Exactly the same thing happened with Man City.
Overall, I think VAR is worrisome because I felt that was a goal.
No. But when you look at that thing, you could see the house and
even if it's 1 millimeter, outside is offside.
Yes. Burnley now defeating Norwich.
Yes.
Bringing the Canaries down to earth.
Bringing them just have to humble them at a point.
Everton, they sign well.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No, sign well is now relative because Everton has spent almost about 300 million over the past 3 seasons.
Yeah,
and you might want to see that probably they've not signed all the money to sign the right players.
Third defeat in 4 league games.
They've not spent right at all.
Okay, and that 8-0.
Yeah, then the 8-0. Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling did not start that game.
Raheem Sterling did. He was on the bench.
He was on the bench. And then Man City are without their 2 first-choice centre-backs and having to make do with Otamendi and Fernandinho.
The goalkeeper, Ben Foster, said when it was 5-0 at 18 minutes, he was like, oh, this would be like 12-0.
It was possible. He said something that when they came into that match, they were expecting not to lose by 2 or 3 goals. And again, if you watch the defenders, they were playing as if, let's finish this match. And they were not making those tackles. That match, because I watched it, because they were playing as if, let this pass over us and let's just go to the next game.
Anyway, well, you remember there is one Nigerian goalkeeper, a female goalkeeper. Even there was something made who said that, look, they accused her of conceding, I think about it was 8 goals, and she said, the ball passed through 10 players. The ball passed through 10 players. You are accusing the what are the attackers? See, we at a point where you say park the bus. No, the coach doesn't have them to park the bus. They can play, 0, 10, 1.
Whatever.
Keep one person up front. And everybody come back to come and defend. Like you said, when you lose the ball, everybody's a defender. You collapse, you whatever formation you are playing and whatever it is. So when you say you want to blame the defenders for not making attack, where are the strikers?
They were not.
And they said attack is the best form of defense. If the attackers were attacking,
I think they were just,
even when you get to see the ball.
I think they were just overwhelmed because of
it will be Chelsea taking on Liverpool. The teenage football club of Manchester. We're going to play West Ham. Manchester, the big boys played yesterday. They will be here play tomorrow. So it will be West. All right, okay, we'll go to Jones. And then Shino, how are you? Hello, Shino.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Well done. You guys are doing very well.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate all your comments, all your analysis, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
I particularly want to single out Yemi.
Okay.
The issues around sports in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We must focus definitely on development.
Definitely.
I'm talking about investment. You don't expect a turnover immediately.
Yeah.
You put in this and you expect a turnover. It has to be gradual over time, and then your investments will yield fruit. Again, concerning the minister, you guys don't forget that he's a journalist.
Yeah.
So when he tweets, he's wanting people to know what is going on. Like Yemi also said, it's not everything.
Yes.
It's better that we have results. You do certain things on the background, and then the results will tell what you are doing. But please, excuse the minister. He's a journalist, and of course, as a journalist, the instincts are there to inform, to let people know what is going on. Of course, he's doing well so far, so good. Thank you very much. You guys have a good time in Lagos.
All right, thank you, Shino. We love that. And then kudos to Yemi. Yemi said, Shino said you got all those things spot on. You know, that's Shino from Jos. So we expect you guys to join the conversation. It is the best way. I mean, the next step, the next level for Nigerian sports. And this is the time. If you don't do it now, you won't do it tomorrow. You just have to lay the foundation. Forget the superstructure, the edifice that is going to come in. It is the foundation. It is the morning that shows the day. You say, of course, the minister has been almost everywhere. He was in, with Dodan Warriors, you know, and all those. And like just pointed out, he is, first and foremost, a journalist. So he like,
and you see, and that's why we're bringing all this now. It's from our constituency.
Right.
And we want him to succeed.
To succeed, yeah.
And you know, there are lots of interest, really.
Conflicting
interest. That is
absolutely. While you will see people with genuine interest, you will see a lot of psychopaths who are only out for their own selfish interest. And I pray that he would get that desired wisdom to be able to know the difference.
Yes. All right. So that is. So let's just look at today. Liverpool, they've won all their matches so far, and then they are taking on Chelsea. Okay, we are in Lagos here already. Okay. Hello, Reverend. How are you?
Fine, thank you. My name is Reverend Omole.
Omole.
An old boy of Methodist Boys High School.
Oh,
Lagos.
yeah.
I just want to take you back a bit to your introduction.
Yeah.
You mentioned St. Gabriel's College, the MS Grammar School, and you failed
to mention Methodist Boys High School.
You did not mention Methodist Boys High School. Let me help you. In 1948,
yes,
when the two cups started, Methodist Boys High School won. In 1961, with due respect,
yes,
your St. Gabriel's College reached the final with Methodist Boys High School.
Wow.
St. Gabriel's College led 2-0 at halftime.
Wow.
3 minutes to the end, Methodist Boys High School had equalized.
Wow.
3 minutes more. You were not there. But let me put you back.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes to the close of the game, Methodist Boys High School 2, St. Gabriel's College 2. And Badru is the referee. Now, at the moment, Elebede has the ball, send it to Iwebo. Iwebo, the captain, traps it dead. Send it to Ejiumi. Ejiumi moves on right into the territory of St. Gabriel's College. Oh, that is 6-footer. Zadidinde, who is now coming in, fights of Korede, the center forward Methodist Boys High School. He tips it over. Oh, him, and now, goalkeeper Nati Gomez is now moving on, even to Okorode. Okorode, make sure he tips it over him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, MBSS 2, St. Gabriel's College 2, and we have just about a minute to go. Now, empty net for Korode. Korode, Musi now. It is unbelievable. It's a goal! At the moment, ladies and gentlemen, the whole stadium is erupting in what can be done as ecstatic, whatever you want to call it. Methodist Boys High School 3, St. Gabriel's College 2. That was the result. My dear brother.
1948.
1961.
1961.
1961.
1961.
I doubt whether any of you was born then.
No,
1948.
Reverend.
Beaten by Methodist Boys High School, led by Jabia Mina of Blessed Memory. So my school won the cup on inception, and in 1961 we retained it.
All right.
Thank you very kindly for the opportunity you have given to me to be able to tell you what happened
in 1961.
many years ago. Bye bye now.
God bless you, sir. That is lovely. That is lovely. I think this reminiscences. These are the things we're talking about here. And I don't want to spoil your day, because I also remember that yes, in 1981, Methodist Boys High School met Trinity Secondary Technical School, Apapa. They met there at Igbobi College ground, and it was 2-0 to the Trinity Terrors of Apapa. So go over there. You beat St. Greg's in 1961. Trinity beat you in 1981. That was 20 years later. We shall go into the forest of that is happening. It is Lagos. Lagos is the football, sports, everything. I know Kano, yes, Port Harcourt, you can go over there. But when it's come to that, worry also. But Lagos has been the center force of what the sports has been. My guy, the guys who come back 1961. What happened in 1961?
How to play really play the Principal Cup to join the team to Scotland 89. So the school sport has always
beautiful
been there for the sport development.
All right. Okay. 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 Olafe, you are in Lagos today?
Yeah, I'm Lagos today. I need to wait for your program.
I know.
I need to wait for your program.
Yeah.
Today your stations have a commentator for NS Okonko, and I know that I've never born at that time.
Yes.
And the comment I hear today is very is very fantastic.
Very fantastic.
I really enjoyed this program today.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to say. I really enjoyed
this
program.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Last year, NS daughter was here.
Yeah.
NS Okonko
yes,
daughter was
yes.
here.
NS. Yeah. I mean, NS Okonko, Fabio Lanikpeku.
And you see, for Reverend Romole to still be able to recollect
the players, yes.
and the time. Look at that year. Yeah. I'm sure probably he's in his 70s or
of course. 1961 to now is about 58 years.
That's what
58 years.
That's what school sport does. When you put it well at the grassroots level.
Yes, everybody
it
just...
sticks.
Oh, wow.
I remember back then in the secondary school, principals would go there in droves. These days, you even see secondary school in 4 flats.
Yes.
Inter-sport,
nothing.
CKC Onitsha that went on to win the World Schools Cup and brought it back to Nigeria.
And as always said, every local government has got an allocation for sports. Let's just start from there. Let's begin from there.
No. You didn't hit the nail on the head. Every local government, please, we always say this here. Every local government in Nigeria, 774, you guys owe us 5% of your budget every month. Anytime you get that allocation, 5% is for sports.
And I think
we are going to ask you to 5% is for sport. The sport policies, we'll send a copy to the sport minister. All right, we are still in Lagos here. Who is on the line? Adodo. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Fine.
You are full of history. How old are you, sir? Superman, you are full of history. I'm impressed. Oh, yeah. The man was asking, were you born at that time?
Yes. We've been born. We are of all ages. That is what sport does for you.
I'm surprised about you. You are a magician. You know everything. You are full of history. I've been monitoring your program. I'm impressed. You are a wonderful man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I just enjoyed today's program.
Yeah.
We were young those days too, but that man who spoke.
Fantastic.
Was he commentator or referee?
Yeah.
The Reverend Father.
Yes.
The wonderful man. Remember those days.
God bless him.
Wonderful. Let us bring back those good days. Now, what is happening to us in Nigeria? What is really happening to us?
Thank you.
And we don't understand. Everything is we don't even have a airline. We don't have anything. Principal Cup. Those things are only channels. Just trying to bring those kids together, to bring our memory, to bring our football alive again.
Yes.
What is wrong with our sports ministry? What is wrong with our sports ministers? What is wrong with our development in sporting? We are packing people to the World Athletic Championship in Doha. No preparation, nothing. You don't gather people say they should go and win. Does it work that way? I don't understand this country. What is really wrong with us? We are not blessed with good leaders. God just gave us resources and everything, but no leadership. It's unfortunate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adodo. Thank you very much. We keep on blessing Reverend Father Molly. I mean, that was fantastic, and I tell you, you both have captured the imagination of everyone watching from all over the world.
Yes.
I mean, that is what sports does for for we all.
Okay, in setting the how do I put it, the agenda for the new sport minister.
Yeah.
It's called the Ministry of Youth and
Sports, yes.
Development. A lot of attention has been on the sport. I think the development is, if he's able to focus on that and get results, I think it will do well.
All right. When we'll come back, we're going to another short break. When we'll come back, the lines will still be open. Stay with us.